Hey everybody, welcome to Frontline. Ooh, almost right there. But get right back to it. So, if you follow the Instagram account, which you should, at FrontlineFB, it's the title for all of our social medias. You may see we did a lot of posts last night. I just want to say, from our social media manager, which is me, I was having a lot of fun last night. So if you guys enjoyed that, please put it in the comments. But hey, it's a lot of fun on our social media if you ever want to join. But we got bigger things to talk about. Not just about Snake in the living room or anything like that. It is season 2, and we are so excited to give you the best season you have ever seen from any YouTube channel. This is going to be the greatest season ever. So, I've been Josh from Frontline Football. I stole that quote right from Tim Tebow. And roll the intro.
Welcome guys to Frontline Football. I'm Zach. We're going to be starting off Week 1 predictions. I know, it's already here. Alright, well, our first matchup is the Dallas Cowboys versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, Josh, you want to start us off with your take?
Okay, I will start off with the take, and before we get to my take, let's get straight to the polls. The polls from our Frontline Football fan base on Instagram and Twitter, follow at FrontlineFB, is 25% Cowboys, 75% Buccaneers. So, with this first game, it's going to be really hard to decide because both teams are so stacked. I'm kidding. It will be the Buccaneers by, I'm going to say, 2 touchdowns. I'm going to say it's close because Dak Prescott still keep a game in check. I just think that Brady, with that record that he has where he's only lost like 1 game after he won a Super Bowl, I think that he is going to win here and the boys will be sent home packing. So, first week, I got to go with the Bucs. I'm going to hand to Jack for his take.
Okay, I'm also going to take the Bucs on some simple basis. One, Zach Martin potentially not making this game against the Bucs D-line. That's not going to be acceptable. Dak's shoulder is already questionable as it is, and with a dicey Cowboys secondary, it shouldn't be that hard for the Bucs to dismantle them relatively quickly. What are your thoughts, Zach?
I have the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers have the best team in the NFL right now, and if someone wants to say the Chiefs, then they are very wrong because they got killed in the Super Bowl. So I think the Bucs have the best team. Dallas, I think, has the best offense other than the Buccaneers. So it's going to be a fireworks show if the defense doesn't show up for the Bucs. I think that the Buccaneers, if the defense shows up, I think that they gotta win, unless Ed Sheeran's team. If they come out, be careful, okay? They could actually be very scary. Okay, so our next matchup is the Eagles versus the Atlanta Falcons. Josh, what are the polls, and then hand it off to someone.
Could you please repeat those again? You kind of glitched in the middle.
Eagles, Falcons.
Bengals, Falcons.
Eagles, Falcons.
Eagles. Okay.
Eagles. Bengals and Falcons don't play this year.
Okay. Well, I kept on hearing Bengals, Falcons. Okay. It's our first week. Get over it. Okay. So, let's get to the polls. So, the tagline for this game. Will the Hurts hype begin, or will Minshew Mania return? So, our fans think that the Eagles will win 57%. The Eagles will win. 3% think that the Falcons will win. And who will this be handed off to? Who will this be handed off to?
Oh, Jack.
Okay.
I'm trying to fill something.
Close game here, but I think I'm going to have to select the Eagles on the basis of I trust their secondary a little bit with Darius Slay and Steven Nelson, and that's kind of the only things the Falcons have going for them is weaponry. and Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts. The Falcons' defense is just a nightmare, and it's going to continue to be. And while I think this game is going to be incredibly sluggish between two bad teams, ultimately, the Eagles will come out on top in this one. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I think that also the Eagles will come out on top, but I believe that Kyle Pitts will have a great game along with Matty Ice. And I don't think that Minshew is going to be starting this game. I think Jalen Hurts is going to be starting the entire way through. Now, Minshew may start later in the season if Hurts starts to not do as well. But I think that this will be a win for the Eagles just because they are less bad than, or not as bad as the Falcons. So, Zach, what are your thoughts?
Got the Eagles. They got some pieces from that Super Bowl run. I know that was a long time ago. I mean, Fletcher Cox can still produce sometimes. Darius Slay is a really good corner. He just didn't have a good year last year. And this is all mattering on Jalen Hurts. If he's doing really well, the Eagles will win. If he's doing really bad, the Eagles will lose. It all matters on how he plays, and I think Philly will start 1-0. Alright, our next team is the Niners versus Detroit. Josh, what is the polls?
Okay, the Niners and Detroit. Let me just get... Oh, wait, I already skipped it. Let me just get right back. Yes, the first week we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but it's fine. Because you came here to see some of the greatest football takes. That... Do the Niners? Okay, yeah, I did. Passing it. So, 67% think that Garoppolo and Shanahan will beat Dan Campbell's team, and 33% think that Dan Campbell will get the upset here. So I will hand this one off to Zach for his take. Zach?
Well, it's early season Niners, so they're going to be good, and I think the Niners will pull out a dub here. Now, if they have an injury problem, it'll probably be on someone's kneecaps, because Dan Campbell's all about them kneecaps, so probably they'll have one injury or two if they're having an injury-prone season. Jack?
I'm also taking the Niners here, just on the basis of the Lions are not going to be a good team at all this year. To their credit, though, the strength of their team, which is their offensive line, will be able to neutralize the 49ers' strength of team, which is their defensive line, only to a certain extent, but it still will slow them down a bit. But ultimately, I think the 49ers are going to come out on top either way, because the Lions are just not ready to compete with the healthy 49ers team at this point in time. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I think that the Niners will be winning here. Now, I do believe... No, I don't. Dan Campbell will give them a run for their money, especially with the team that he has been put to run this year. I don't think that this game will be close, because I think that the defense will swallow up any passing or running attack that the Lions try to do, and it's just going to be too much for them. And I think that the Lions will win. It will be the Niners who are winning.
Alright, our next matchup is the Packers versus Saints. Josh, after you're done with the polls, say your take.
Packers and Saints. Let me get to that one. The game in Jacksonville. Ooh, that's gonna... Okay, so 67% of our viewers think that the Packers will be winning this game, and 33% think that the Saints will be winning this. I believe that the Green Bay Packers will be winning this game because Rodgers is coming back. While I do believe that they may struggle a little bit just because of, some of the new pieces on their roster, I think that they will be able to beat the Saints handily. Give me the Green Bay Packers here, winning in Jacksonville. Zach?
I'm going to go with the upset here. I'm going to say the Saints. That whole team is gone. But I still do believe in the Saints that they'll get this win. Reason why is because of Jameis Winston. He looked really good in preseason, and he'll be making connections with Marquise Callaway. And so, yeah, I think that that's what's going to happen. Now, Jack.
I'm going to lean Packers right now, mainly because I feel like the Saints are going to be a team that are going to have an identity crisis early. Not only did they lose their legendary quarterback Drew Brees in the offseason to retirement, but Michael Thomas also isn't going to be there. This isn't the same team that they left in that divisional round where they got eliminated last year. Well, they're a well-coached team, meaning they're going to be able to stay in this game for the most part. Ultimately, the chemistry of the Packers is going to probably overwhelm Jameis at some point, and when your number one receiver is Marquez Callaway, it's going to be really hard to beat Aaron Rodgers at full strength.
All right. Our next matchup is the LA Rams versus Chicago Bears. I'll say the polls, and then I'll start off with my take.
Okay, the Sunday night football matchup, which will be Stafford today to the City of Angels. We have 17% think that the Bears will be winning this game, and 83% of our fans think that the Rams will be winning this game. Oh, start us off.
I have to say the Rams. This match will be very close, especially if it's a defensive battle, because Fields is just coming in. Well, no, actually it's Andy Dalton, but Fields could totally come in. But it's gonna be Andy Dalton's first kind of time with the system. I understand they had preseason, but that's kind of different. Now you're playing actual NFL defenses, and Stafford the same way. Stafford's gonna have to I understand these are NFL quarterbacks, but they still need to understand the playbook. And I think that the Rams just have a better team. So I'm going to give it to the Rams. Jack?
This one should be interesting, but ultimately, I'm going to give it to the Rams as well. A lot of new faces at the quarterback position on the Bears. And overall, until that's fully resolved, I think the Bears are going to struggle. The Rams' defense is really good, so whether it's Fields or most likely who it's going to be, Dalton, it's still not the greatest situation to be in. I think the Rams are going to come out on top here. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I think that the Rams will be winning this game, and I believe it's going to be because of their defense. And their offense is going to help, but I think that their defense is just going to seal the deal and make it to where the Bears just have really no chance of winning this game. So I have the Rams for this week.
All right. Our next matchup, I think, am I right about this? I'm not looking on Playoff Predictor. Is it Vikings-Bengals?
Yes.
Right. Josh, look at Vikings-Bengals and then say take, I think.
Okay. For the return of Burrow. Who do I need to say their take?
Jack, after you're done with polls.
Yeah, got it. Okay. 83% that the Vikings will be winning this game, and 17% think that the Bengals will be winning this game. Who do you think is going to win this game?
I'm going to go with the Vikings. Just on the basis of the Bengals O-line, not looking so good so far. Top 5 pick Jamar Chase, not looking so good so far. None of it looks good early. None of it's really clicking early. Minnesota's looks slightly better defensively. I think with the Neil Hunter back, their big D-line back, I think they're going to be able to get the job done against the Bengals ultimately. Their defense versus the Bengals offense is just, it's a mismatch, D-line versus O-line. I think it's going to be too much for the Bengals to even consider overcoming it. What are your thoughts, Zach?
Give it to Minnesota because Cincinnati, right now, at this point, doesn't seem like a complete... Yeah, it's not a complete team. Minnesota isn't either, but Minnesota is at least close. The Bengals will have O-line trouble for the whole year, and they're probably going to lose a lot of games because of that. Jamar Chase is not really working out. So I think the Vikings, especially with Neil Hunter being on their team, will actually do some damage to the Bengals. Josh?
I think that the Vikings will be winning this game because the Bengals are right now in a mess. Their number one pick, Jamar Chase, is not working out. preseason, but there's something wrong whenever you go from playing in college and all of a sudden you can't catch in the NFL. And also with his alleged legal situation that's going on, that doesn't really help either. So I gotta go with the Minnesota Vikings here.
Right. Next matchup is the Seattle Seahawks versus the Indianapolis Colts. Josh, take us away with your take.
Colts. Okay, we have 83% of people think the Seahawks will be winning this game, and 17% think that the Colts will be winning this game. I will take this one first, and I believe that the Seahawks will be winning this game. This will be Let Russ Cook 2.0. We are starting it right now. So, I think that they're going to win because the Colts have no quarterback. Wentz may be returned this week. Quentin Nelson may return this week. They don't have Jacob. No, they don't have Sam Ellinger. All they have is Jacob Eason. That's it. And I don't have much trust in a second-string quarterback who's the only quarterback on the roster. That doesn't make any sense. So I gotta go with the Seahawks here, and I think that they will be winning this game. Jack, what are your thoughts?
I also have to go with the Seahawks. Well, they're pretty sure, according to Adam Schefter, they're pretty sure Carson Wentz is going to make it. It's not going to change the fact that he's missed a month or two worth of camp and OTAs and preseason and all the stuff you need, especially if you're a new quarterback switching teams. I haven't heard anything about Quentin Nelson, so I'm not optimistic about him either. Plus, the Seahawks are known to be an early regular season team. It's kind of their specialty at this point. He cooks early, he gets destroyed late, and the cycle will repeat itself every year for the most part. Ultimately, I think the Seahawks are going to win this one. I think the Colts will have some fight in them based on their defense, because their defense is still pretty solid. The Seahawks O-line is wishy-washy at best. I think DeForest Buckner could create some problems for Russ, but ultimately I'd see the Seahawks coming out on top. What are your thoughts, Zach?
I want to give it to the Colts, but Seahawks will win. Russ is going to do well for like 6 weeks, not do well after that, and not get an MVP vote, and then no one's going to talk about him after week 6. So, I'm saying that now, and it's probably going to be true. I think the Seahawks will win, even though I think Indy has a really good chance on beating them. So, yeah. And then, Josh, have you said your take?
I have. I said Seahawks.
All right, I think everyone did. So, the next matchup is the Chargers versus the football team. I'm going to hand this one off to Josh. Yeah.
Okay, Chargers and football. 83% of our fans think that the Los Angeles Chargers will be winning. 17% think that the football team will be winning. So, I will hand this one off to Jack to start.
I think I actually have a minor upset here. I don't think it's major, but I'm going to actually pick Washington here. It's mainly because I've looked at Washington more and more, and I really like what they got on defense for one. That was obvious. But their offense isn't anything to push over either. Logan Thomas is supposed to be breaking out. They added Curtis Samuel. They have Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson. They got some nice pieces. I think the Chargers can keep it close because they are, I think, in my opinion, a playoff team. But I think Washington's defense is going to come out firing on all cylinders. And I think they're going to come out to a hot start and beat the Chargers here. What are your thoughts, Zach?
Chargers. I like their team. A really good time sacking. Is it Fitzpatrick?
Should be,
so.
Yeah.
Well, he'll have a good time. And again, all of these matchups depend on the quarterback. If Patrick's doing really well, he's having one of those really good games, he will win. It's just, I don't believe that he'll have a really good game. So, gotta give it to the Chargers because I believe in Justin Herbert more. So, yeah. Josh?
I gotta go with the football team here because I think that this always happens week 1. Everyone overdoubts what Ryan Fitzpatrick can do. Fitzpatrick wins week 1. So I think the football team is going to be Chargers in week 1. The Chargers will be stunned because they're going to do some kind of choking at the end of the that will lose them the game, is my prediction.
All right. Next matchup is the New York Jets versus the Carolina Panthers. Josh said the polls, then Jack, go ahead with your take.
We have 100% Carolina Panthers for this game.
Okay. This one's,
Go ahead, Jack.
in my opinion, a coin toss. I think it's incredibly close. I think ultimately the side of the ball that matters is Darnold versus the Jets D-line. So I think Zach Wilson is going to do some stuff against the Panthers. I think it's going to be productive enough to where if we can win on the defensive side of the ball, we'll be able to win the game overall. But it will come down to the Panthers' O-line, specifically the interior O-line, is one of the worst, the Jets being one of the more productive interior D-lines in the league. The issue comes the cornerback group. The Panthers' wide receivers are one of the best in the league, while the Jets' cornerbacks are one of the worst. So it's basically going to come down to, can Quinnen Williams get to Sam Darnold before Robbie Anderson murders a Jets cornerback on the field? And I think I've thought about this for days and days. As of right now, I lean Panthers slightly just because I think Darnold's got a little bit of fire just because it's his old team, and I think that will get him over the top. But don't be surprised if the Jets win this game. But ultimately, it'll come down to, can Quinnen Williams get to Sam Darnold before Robbie Anderson can get to the end zone? What are your thoughts, Josh?
Okay, so for this game, whoops, that's not my charger. This is. I have the, I have the Panthers winning this game because I really think that Sam Darnold is going to show why he was a first round pick, third pick to be exact. And I think that Zach Wilson will struggle. I know they had a great preseason. I'm not saying he won't do well. New York fans, I'm saying that he's going to struggle. I feel like a lot of the quarterbacks who are starting this week are going to struggle against these teams and not have the game that everyone thinks that they're going to have. So I think that Wilson will struggle with his first, real taste of a real NFL defense. And it's going to be some growing pains from going from BYU to the NFL. So I gotta say, Panthers are winning this game due to experience and, like Jack said, the Jets corners basically being non-existent. Zach?
Both of you guys didn't bring up the point. I understand that Jack brought up Robbie Anderson. They also have DJ Moore and CMC is going to be back. So even if Sam Darnold's not having a great game, CMC can just torch the Jets. So I also have the Panthers. And this doesn't matter. If Sam Darnold doesn't have a good game, it doesn't matter. They can just depend on Christian McCaffrey to win the game. So, yeah. The Jets, I could see a win. It's just a lot of things need to happen. Christian McCaffrey either goes down, one of their star wide receivers goes down. You can hear a lot of injuries are going on right now. Sam Darnold throws 5 picks, which hasn't happened since Nathan Peterman or something. So the Jets can win. Their defense just does well. So I don't believe that they'll do well week 1. Don't be surprised if the Jets get a weird win against the Rams last year. So close. All right. Our next matchup is the Cardinals versus Titans. I'll be taking this one after Josh reads the polls. Oh no. Do you not have your phone? I'll read the polls.
Hear a word you just said.
I just said Cardinals. Titans. I'll just read off the poll.
I cannot hear a word that you're saying.
Okay. Yeah, am I coming good on your screen?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. I think that's just Josh. So the poll right now is 40% Cardinals, 60% Titans. A lot of people don't believe in the Cardinals. That's fine. The Cardinals are gonna win anyway, just because. Think about this: Chandler Jones, J.J. Watt. Those two guys can lock up Derrick Henry, I believe. And Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk. I'm naming off a guy who most people don't know, but he's still really good. And Rondale Moore might have a good game. Those guys are super good, and I think that they could win this game. And the offense will do well. If we can stop the run, we stop the Titans. It's kind of like stopping the Ravens. If we can't, then the Titans will win. So I have the Cardinals beating the Titans. Gosh. Okay, Jack.
Okay.
You just go to Josh.
I'm gonna pick the Cardinals here. And this is mainly this will be a shootout, absolute shootout for the most part. Just because I don't like the Titans secondary, and I don't really like the Cardinals secondary other than Buda Baker and Marco Williams either. So I think ultimately a lot of points on the board, but I think the X factor here is the Cardinals. Oh, and Josh just feared. Okay, the Cardinals defense has Chandler Jones and J.J. Watt, who are solid run defenders, which will be key. Even if they just slightly slow down Derrick Henry, it'll be enough to win the game for the most part. So I have to go with the Cardinals here. And let's see if Josh comes back.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Frontline Football. Sorry about those technical difficulties. You know we can't go through a season without them. So, let's get right into these next matchups. So, I was going off on my take. So, for this game, the Titans and Cardinals, which I was just reminded by my co-host is the game that we were on, I would like to choose the Arizona Cardinals here. I think that it will be close, but I think that the Cardinals will just do a little bit more than the Titans. Now, will Derrick Henry stiff-arm somebody and ruin their entire career on the Cardinals? Yes. My money's on Isaiah Simmons. So, I think that it's either going to be him or J.J. Watt, but Derrick Henry is going to posterize somebody and just make somebody on the Cardinals embarrassed. So, give me the Arizona Cardinals winning this game.
All right. Our next matchup is the Broncos versus the New Jersey Giants. Nick, after Josh says the polls, go ahead.
Got it.
The polls are 43% Broncos, 57% Giants. Jack, your take.
I have to go with the Broncos here. I was all in on this Giants team, and then I watched Jets-Giants preseason, and I saw the Giants starting O-line getting absolutely manhandled by the backup Jets D-line, killing Mike Glennon in the process, which was very fun to watch for the Jets, but not for the Giants. But imagine this starting O-line, but instead of going against the Jets' defensive line backups, they get to go against Von Miller and Bradley Chubb. It's probably not going to be good, and it's such a big mismatch that I can't overlook it. I think the Broncos' offense, as usual, is going to be mediocre, boring, or struggle to get anything going for the most part, because, they're led by Teddy Bridgewater. But ultimately, I think the Giants' O-line versus the Broncos' defense is just too much of a mismatch for me to give it to the Giants. I have to go Broncos here. What are your thoughts, Josh?
Give me the upset. I'm saying it right now. Saquon Barkley, his back is going to be hurting so much after this game from carrying this team. The Giants will win, but it won't be pretty. And Saquon will lead the Giants to victory, along with Daniel Jones throwing a couple good passes to Kenny Golladay and Kadarius Toney. So give me the New York Giants winning in an upset here. Zach?
I gotta go with the Broncos. I feel like their secondary can hold up against the Giants' receiver core with Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard, I think, still, yeah. And then Evan Ingram. I think that they can hold up, and they have a good linebacking core with Bradley Chubb and Von Miller. And, yeah, I think that Teddy Bridgewater can just play like well enough that he'll be good. So, yeah, I say Denver. All right, our next matchup is the Buffalo Bills versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Go ahead with your take.
Do we have to do the polls first?
Josh, do the polls. Yeah. Oops. Sorry. That's my bad.
Polls are 80% Bills, 20% Steelers. Jack,
Okay.
your take.
I'm going to go with the Bills. One, the Steelers, I don't get it. They're a 7-10 team to me. They just look like one. And I think the Bills, they didn't lose anyone. They just added or they exchanged for similar players. For example, John Brown for Emmanuel Sanders. But the Steelers secondary got weakened. They lost Steven Nelson. I think Joe Hayden, he's getting older every year. And ultimately, the Bills grand slammed them last time they met. It was pretty ugly. And I think that's going to happen again because the Steelers O-line, the only difference is the Bills D-line got significantly better with Gregory Rousseau looking to be pretty good. And the Steelers O-line got significantly worse, losing Villanueva to the Ravens and then David DeCastro to retirement. And I think they also lost their left tackle as well. So ultimately, this is just a better Bills versus a worse Steelers. So I'm going to give it to the Bills here. What are your thoughts, Zach?
I mean, you kind of covered everything, except for one. Ben is getting old, and we did see regression from him. Now, with this worse O-line, what Jack pointed out, he'll have an even worse time in the pocket because they used to be really good with protection. Now they don't. Might have DeCastro. I don't think so.
He got cut.
Is he still in free agency?
Yeah.
Needs to sign him. The Jets or something. So, yeah, I think the Bills have an easy shot. I don't think the Steelers even have a chance, especially with TJ Watt holding out for a good deal with guaranteed money, which he'll learn very quickly that the Steelers don't give out guaranteed money. So yeah, Josh?
I gotta go with the Bills here. I think that they're just the better team. And just like Jack said, the Bills got better and the Steelers got worse. And if Juju dances on the logo before the game, it's an automatic Bills win. So I'm saying Bills probably 95% to 5% that maybe the Steelers win. Or keep it close.
All right. So the next matchup is the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Houston Texans. Since Josh, Texans fan, say the polls and then say your take.
You want to hear the surprising thing?
Okay.
The polls are 50-50 for Jacksonville and Houston. So, with being the Texans fan, I will start this prediction off. So, as much as I want to choose my favorite team in the NFL, the Houston Texans, unfortunately, I gotta go with the Jacksonville Jaguars here. I think being on the road, Trevor Lawrence will have a little bit of trouble with the Texans defense because, especially with that D-line that has been upgraded a lot this offseason. But I think where the Texans are going to fall short this week is their secondary. Because they brought in Desmond King. They have Justin Reed. But the rest of the people are still question marks on the team. So I think that the offenses of both teams will keep them in the game. But I think that Lawrence will just pull off a game-winning drive to beat the Texans. So I'm going to hand this one off to Zach for his take.
This is one of the games I'm really not excited for because I have to listen to. Where is he to my for the filming thing? Is he like up here or like here?
He's above you.
All right, I have to listen to him the whole entire game. So yeah, that's not gonna be a fun. It's not gonna be a fun Sunday, but But I have the Texans winning because they. This is so stupid. The Jags, Trevor Lawrence does not look good right now. The pocket is not doing well. The Texans' D-line is actually kind of upgraded a little. I don't know how, because you lost J.J. Watt. You shouldn't be upgraded. But yeah, I think the Texans actually have a chance to win. Now, if Trevor pulls off some Joe Burrow magic where he actually, like, can evade defenders, or some Deshaun Watson magic or something, he needs to pull off something to win. And I don't think it's going to happen. So, I have the Texans. Jack, have you gone?
No. This one's it's been crazy. Because other than the Frontline football viewers, it feels like no one believes in the Houston Texans. But I'm here to tell you, they're wrong! Houston Texans got a good chance of winning this game. We believe. Not only did Trevor have an okay preseason, well, he's got some solid pieces around him. I'm very scared for the Jaguars. And just to make things a little interesting in my bracket, since I've had mostly favorites, I'm going to take an upset here. I'm going to go with the Houston Texans. The Jags O-line, it stayed the same, and it was like bottom 3 in the league, which is just crazy to think. They didn't really upgrade much on the offense for the most part. They got Marvin Jones. That's about it. They drafted a rookie left tackle, but that's not going to help you because rookie left tackles are incredibly hard to develop for the most part. But ultimately, I don't have a lot of evidence for why the Texans are going to win, but I feel an upset in the air. I'm going to pick the Texans.
You and me think that a lot similar, Jack. All right, our next matchup is the Cleveland Browns versus the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to take this one after Josh does the polls.
Yay, the Texans have one win this year. Woo! The experts are wrong. As a Frontline football. Okay, let's get to the polls. 67% Browns and 33% Chiefs. Zach, what are your thoughts on this game?
Ooh, this is a hard one. I have to give it to the Chiefs. They are going to be really competitive, which makes sense for the Chiefs. But this team is going to be lights out, and they're not going to just what they did last year is they just had this amazing talent. They could score a touchdown whenever they felt like it, and they never did anything with it. I think that they're going to have a chip on their shoulder for not winning the Super Bowl, so I think that this is a kind of a just be pissed, and they're going to win it against the Browns. The Browns can have a revenge game, but it's not going to happen. So, Jack?
I have to go with the Chiefs. Every single year that I've been watching football, the Chiefs do not lose in September. They didn't lose last year in September. They didn't lose the year before in September. They didn't lose the year before in September. And even with Alex Smith, 4 years ago now, they still didn't lose in September that year. Last time they lost in September, I was in middle school. It's been a long time, and I'm not betting against them in September ever again. So I'm picking the Chiefs. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I'm going to go against the grain here like I always do. I got to choose the Browns. Because who cares about the statistics? I'm going to say it. The Browns are hungry for a win. They were robbed. Yes, they were robbed from being in the AFC Championship game because refs don't know how to call a helmet-to-helmet hit correctly. So, I have the Browns winning this game. They have ramped up their defense for a moment like this. Mahomes is going to be rushed with his decision-making. Now, his line will really help him. I think with Clowney and Garrett coming in from the edges, Mahomes will have a hard time and struggle. This is where the cracks in the armor start to show for the Chiefs. And Eric Bieniemy becomes more and more of a fraud each week and is shown not to be the offensive genius that we all thought that he was. So, give me the Cleveland Browns here to upset the Chiefs in Week 1.
All right. Yeah, we're going to go to our next matchup, which is the Miami Dolphins versus New England Patriots. Jack, take us away with your take after Josh does the polls.
The battle for Alabama has commenced. 67% of our viewers think that the Dolphins will be winning. 33. Backwoods here.
Okay, you froze for a second. Okay, here we go.
Oh, okay.
I'm picking the Patriots because I've become a believer in mac and cheese. It's just a battle of two Alabama quarterbacks with really good defenses behind them. Ultimately, I thought about this one for a while. This one was close to me. I think while the Dolphins have the uppage in experience when it comes to Tua versus Mac Jones, I think the Patriots will come out on top just because the Dolphins' good receiving core. Well, actually, no Will Fuller yet, so it's not great yet. With Jalen Waddle, Devontae Parker, I think the New England is just going to be able to completely lock down Tua this time around. While I think Miami could get the best of them on the road later in the season, I think this one's going to New England. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I think Miami's away for this game. But yeah, I think that the Dolphins will be winning this one. With Tua being under center, I think he's going to have something to prove this year. That those games, that magical run they went on, those weren't a fluke. That he is here to stay. So I think that will begin with the battle for Alabama, him beating his former quarterback, Mac Jones. Especially with the help from his defense, I think that will just cement Tua as maybe a candidate for comeback player of the year this year. So, I have Tua winning this game. Zach, what are your thoughts?
I got the Dolphins. The thing is, who is the number one wide receiver for the Patriots? I think it's Sean Jackson. Alright? Who's it, Nelson Aguilar?
There you go.
Alright, I got it the second time. Oh, D-Jax plays for the Rams. Okay. Yeah, but they don't have a good wide receiver core. So, I think that the Dolphins will take the dub here just because of defense, because who the heck is Mac Jones throwing to, and who is their running back? James White, I think, and that's not going to be good enough. Their defense will hold up. Their offense? No. A Patriots fan told me today that Mac Jones is going to score 6 touchdowns. That's not true. I know it's not true. Because I don't believe that. So, it's not true. Alright. With our final matchup of today. Wait, Josh, did you go?
I did. Yeah, I said Dolphins.
Alright, with our final matchup of today, it will be the Ravens versus the Raiders. Josh, after you're done saying the polls, say your take.
We have in this matchup 100% Ravens, 0% Raiders. So, let me begin this off with saying that Big Trust, woo, is going to be beating the Las Vegas Raiders. Why? Because the Raiders have no line. They have no defense. They have Derek Carr, Henry Ruggs, who's fast but has no hands, and Darren Waller, who was the success story of last year. So, I gotta say, it's gonna be a clean win. It's probably gonna be a blowout in the first, what is it called? The first Monday Night Football game of the year, unfortunately, and I think that the Ravens will come away with the win because they're just better than the Raiders in almost every single asset besides running back. So, I'm going to hand this one off to Zach for his take.
What do you mean they're beating them in running back? I understand they got Kenyon Drake, but what about Le'Veon Bell? Ooh. Alright, but actually being serious, the Ravens are getting this win. I don't care about this Raiders team. This Ravens team is a lot better, and they're competing for playoffs. I don't know what the Raiders are doing. They lost their whole entire offensive line. They only signed Yannick Ngakoue, and that's it. So, yeah. Also, the Ravens have a better defense. They can actually stop people. I think they have one of the best cornerback cores in the league, which will stop Henry Ruggs if he actually goes off, which he won't. And, yeah, that's their receiving core, Henry Ruggs. So, yeah. And, of course, Darren Waller, I'm not forgetting about him, but wide receiver-wise, it's just Henry Ruggs. All right, Jack.
I love the Raiders. It's so confusing and hard to understand. They don't even know what they're doing most times, and they have no clear vision for the future. So I'm going to obviously take the Ravens here. All they did is, regress in the only part of their team that I really liked besides Waller, and that was their O-line. And the Ravens, they're ready to go. It's hyper-competitive division, and ultimately the Ravens are just going to run all over the Raiders' defense because we know the Raiders aren't going to be able to stop them. And the Raiders will continue to confuse me until they get their yearly upset over the Chiefs.
And then people will think they're good. That will happen for a little bit. Alright, well that does it for our video today. If you liked it, what should I do, Josh?
Yeah, if you liked it, don't forget to hit that like button, punch that subscribe button. But if you have to do one thing, punch that subscribe button. It really helps us. And if you can't hit that like button too, because that helps us. And if you're watching on a podcast that we are doing, then hit that follow button, because that's as good as a subscribe on YouTube. So, welcome to Season 2. Hope you like the new intro. And I've been Josh from Frontline Football. And Jack, hit the plugs.
As always, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at FrontlineFB. They're actually there today. Right there, to the left of me. So type that in your phone, or the links will be in the description as always. And we'll see you guys back here for next week's season predictions. It's about to get interesting. Week 1's always chaotic. Things are going to change very quickly. And this list that we have right here is probably going to be totally wrong. And there's going to be weird stuff going on as always.
Injury report might come back. Yay.
Yay,
that's bad.
But we will see you guys here
Bye-bye.
next week.